This is the Reverend Phillip K, and welcome to the Dudeist Journey podcast. I'm your host, and today I'm proud to say is our 10th episode, and it's our 1 year episode. Hey, all right. Didn't quite get an episode a month. Pretty terrible, but anyway, still, woohoo, 1 year, and I'm proud to say I have made $1.11 from this podcast, so thanks for listening. Although I think I need to re-record the commercial at the beginning. Anyway, thank you all for joining in today, man. I'm here smoking my little hemp cigarettes like always. I got some home-rolled ones here too. And today, the topic of today is going to be where you stand, man. Because I did a podcast, episode 9. If you haven't heard it, go back and check it out. And it was about hate and the replacement theory that a lot of white people hear, myself included. And so I was just talking a little bit about hate, where hate comes from, and how to handle it and what to do. And so, yeah, man. And so I had some folks kind of, asking me some questions. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll more than happy to answer. And so today I'm talking about where I stand. But first I got to get into a little bit about myself. So if you haven't heard the podcast before, and this is your first time, welcome, virgin. I've been working on these classes to get a certification in mobile application development, which is, yeah. So, mobile application development, right? Now, I've been learning a lot of JavaScript coding and stuff, and so made a couple apps. Most of them were web apps. And, the reason I was doing this is because I have a friend who works for the 7-Eleven Corporation. And he does graphics and stuff. And so he's like, listen, man, if you get a cert in some kind of development, I'll line you up for a job, man. Right? And we pay our coders like $100,000 to $150,000 a year. And I was like, oh, okay, ding, ding, ding. Say no more. That'll do it, brother. Mm-hmm. So I enroll in these classes. I'm going like part-time, 1-2 classes a semester. Not rushing myself. Because once again, I'm learning new languages, and I'm going through it all. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, React, Express. I did some Java. I didn't do Python, believe it or not. Python's usually one of the first easiest languages that you learn, but skipped over that. Went to Java and C#. Now, I did want to make games and stuff, but I was like, hey, man, if this job's lined up, shit, I'll learn whatever you want me to learn, brother, For that fucking paycheck, shit, yeah. So, anyway, I got the certificate. Yeah, man, I totally did it. I got it hanging on my wall. I can see it over here. You can't see it, but I can. And I'm not going to show it because, I feared my identity being stolen. We all got paranoia. That's mine. If you think my real name's Phillip K. But anyway, I went, got the cert, and a couple weeks before I was about to graduate, I called my buddy up. I was like, hey, man, I'm getting the cert here soon. What job do you think I should be looking at? And he said, I got laid off. And I was like, what? And he sent me a story. 7-Eleven laid off, oh, man, 880 people in a day. And they bought like Speedway or something, and so they had to, they got to cut their losses to help keep the stockholders happy. Yes, money, money, stay in the black. So I'm like, well, shit. He said what really sucked though is that they had heard rumors about it. Now, usually he said other jobs I've worked, if you're going to get fired, you're going to get laid off, if like you're going to be losing a whole team or whatever. He's like, usually they give you like 2-3 months notice, so that way you can get another job and not skip a paycheck and yada yada. So they didn't do that. 7-Eleven told everyone they were fine, everyone's safe, and then cut them. A lot of tears. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So like I said, I'd love to build games, so I'm going in hardcore with building games. And I built my first app game. I'm going to release it soon. But I found out I have to get a trademark. They're like, you can do a copyright, which will do like the graphics and stuff like that, and the code, but it won't it won't protect the title. The name and titles, or how they call them, titles, they're not protected by copyright. So you would have to get a trademark. All right. Fortunately, it's way more expensive. Like if you want a copyright, it's under $50, but if you want a trademark, it's $250. So I'm selling things on eBay, everyone. Hey, anyone want some Ghostbuster action figures? Maybe some Batman stuff? You find me on eBay. I'm under FICO 263255 XYZ LMNOP. Okay, so yeah. And anyway, I wanted to, and I do want to apologize. I didn't get an episode out sooner, but that's because my mic broke. Yep. As you see, I've got a new microphone here. This is what is this called again? A pile. Looks like them old microphones like Elvis had back in the day. I got this one because I tried fixing the Snowball. Okay, because I've had the Snowball for years. I've had the Snowball since like 2015, so I've had it for a long time, and it's done well. But I was just getting this weird feedback, and it wasn't recording well. I tried different chords. I tried different software. I tried different computers. The mic was out, so I went and got this guy, and I got the interface. You know, the Focus Right Solo Red, whatever the hell it is. I'll try and pick it up here to show it to the camera. Yeah, this guy here. Now, I don't know how to work this motherfucker. I mean, I absolutely did not know how this guy totally and completely works. So, the mic, it came with a cable that went XLR to like like a port for a guitar. So I plugged it into the instrument side because there's different sides to this. They're like that plug is for an instrument, this plug is for your headphones, and this plug is for a microphone, an XLR. So I had to get an XLR cable, and I recorded the first episode. I tried using the webcam on this laptop instead of my old, Logitech, good old C70. But it was terrible. The picture was terrible. It was really dark, and the sound was all muffled and wrong, and there was pops, and God. So I am re-recording the episode I did. And in the first episode, I showed the Snowball, but I've thrown that away by this point. Life. Anyway, man, let's get back onto the topic at hand. Where do I stand? Because obviously things are changing in the world, and so some folks are kind of like, I just kind of hate how it's like, white people are the devil, and minorities and or minorities and LGBTQ and all them, they're all put on this pedestal, da da da, and it's like, what's the deal going on? And I'm like, whoa, 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 back up, man. And I talked to a few friends about this, and like I said, I got friends of all types, and so I kind of just had to go into, let me give you just a quick viewpoint on things, and maybe that'll help, okay? Because here's the thing. When it comes to politics, I'm not political. Do I vote? Yes, I vote. But I am an independent. I think for myself. I don't just vote Democrat. I don't just vote Republican. I vote for what I feel is right. I research. I do my fucking homework, and I figure it out who I want to vote for and what I want to do. And so that's me. I mean, you have to understand, man. It's like I believe in free weed and free guns. So it's like you have to understand. It's going to be a little different. Sorry if this is shaking, by the way, the camera. If you guys are watching the video, sorry about that. It's going to shake because I've got everything on top of everything else. I'm trying to get organized here, man. I'm organized on screen, so to speak, but not so much in life. So anyway, man, I was like, let me just give you just a quick lowdown, just a quick viewpoint here on what's going on in the world, okay? I think that what we're witnessing right now is our own world's evolution. We're evolving faster. We process information faster, okay? Things are changing. It's quick, quick, quick. Update, update. Now, now, now. And so when things change, people get scared. People are scared of change, and because some folks that didn't have a seat at the table now got a seat at the table, and so these guys are worried that these folks that have had a seat at the table this whole time, they're sitting here like freaking out, thinking that, oh well, because this new person has a seat at the table, they're going to take over the world. It's like, no, not necessarily. It'd be kind of hard to close to impossible. So anyway, like, let me just give you an example to help you understand. I used to work at a cotton factory back in the day. It was one of my first jobs, and I worked in the back in the warehouse moving cotton samples around. These big giant bags of cotton. Would sort them out, put them on these trays, and then we would take the cotton to a warehouse, which is where the cotton was from. Like, oh, this cotton's from this farmer, or this one's from this town, this one's from this, so on and so forth. And then we would let the samples sit for years and examine what happens to the cotton, how it breaks down, does it mold, all that kind of stuff. The scientific-y things. And so, anyway, so there was an office staff, all white people. And then there was the warehouse staff where I worked, and it was all minorities. It was black and Hispanic, pretty much. I was the only white guy that worked in the back, other than the manager of the warehouse, okay? That right there should give you kind of an idea of things. So, anyway, so the office crew, they would always have parties, man. Yeah, they would have, like, office parties and company parties, and the warehouse folks were never invited. They just weren't. And then one day, I think it was a birthday or something, and so the office people were in the cafeteria, and they had this big cake, right? And so we're there, because we all use the cafeteria, so the warehouse people are there, so now they got to share the cake. Beforehand they didn't, but now they do. So I hear some of the office people grumbling, that, oh, we're not going to get as much cake now. Well, these warehouse workers are here, they're going to take all the cake. And then the warehouse workers were like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take all the cake. I've been working for this company for fucking 10 years, and I've never gotten cake. I'm getting me some fucking cake now, and I'm getting as much cake as I fucking can. And that's what's like, whoa, chill. Look, man, everybody's getting cake, okay? It's going to be about the same size, and I'd look at the office people, and I'd be like, look, man, you guys throw half this fucking cake away most of the time, okay? So shut the fuck up. All right, and it's not like you need more cake, you got heart problems and shit, and you're taking Lipitor at lunch, so you probably shouldn't even be eating this. And then to the warehouse folks, like, look, I know we have never gotten it, but hey, now we're getting cake, man, and we're all gonna try to get a fair piece here, okay? Might be bigger or smaller than others, but we're all trying to get just a fair shot here, just a fair fucking piece of cake. Everyone's getting cake. Everyone's getting cake, okay? Just gotta be chill. All right. No one should get more than the others. So just quit bitching. Okay. All right. Be happy with the cake that you get. All right. And if you heard a strange noise, that was not you. That was my air freshener. Okay. So I don't see anyone above the other. That's just how I am. I think that if you want to be treated equally, you should do everything you can to try to treat others equally. If you don't think people should be using a certain term, derogatory term, whatever it is, then don't use derogatory terms. Be the example. You know what I mean? And, the trouble that I'm also noticing is that, look, if you were born and raised in the United States, you don't know what the fucking equal society looks like. You don't. This whole country was built on racism and slaves. All right? And it's still there, but the thing is that racism is dying. It's this dying ideology, and we're seeing the flailings, the last, grasping on, trying to do whatever they can. And but it's fading away. It's changing now. So we're trying to build something. We don't know what it looks like, but that doesn't mean it can't be built. It's going to be new, and it's going to be different, but we're going to be okay. Now, some folks want to believe that minorities are the problem. And then some people are going to say, no, it's the racist white people that are the problem. And I'm like, well, there's problems there on both ends, but the main problem, I think, is greed. Greed's the biggest problem, because everyone's got a price, right? I mean, I have these friends, and so they start complaining about, oh, these Mexicans are taking our jobs. And I'm just like, okay, well, who's hiring them? Just like I said in the last episode, man, I'm just like, think about it. It's a bunch of rich white assholes who are too cheap to pay someone. Like right now, we're going through the whole pay raise thing, and so I got relatives and family. They're just like, oh, no one wants to work anymore. No one wants. Everyone's too good to flip burgers and da da da. And I'm like, well, I actually worked in fast food, so let me tell you what the deal is with that. When I worked in fast food back in 2000, okay, minimum wage was around $7. It's still around $7, and this is 22 years later. It's still $7. Cost of living has gone up, and the prices have gone up, but not the wage. And that's because this country was built on slaves. And when slaves were freed, and now you've got to pay them, well, they tried to make that pay as little as possible. I mean, we can go back just 60 years and talk about the farm workers with Cesar Chavez. They're only getting paid $2 a day when at the time the minimum wage was $2 an hour. Think about it. And so, because of that, I'm just like, look, man, of course no one wants to flip burgers. Amazon's paying $15 an hour. So just take yourself through this scenario, because I worked in fast food, okay? Imagine standing over a hot grill all day, running your ass off, sweating like crazy. You're covered in grease and shit. You're dealing with asshole customers, impatient people. You got homeless people who come in and just shit all over the fucking bathroom and tear it up. You got teenagers that come in, don't give a fuck about you, and start fucking the place up, throwing their drinks and just causing problems. You're dealing with all this shit. And at the end of the year, you're making like 10 grand below poverty line. I mean, I'm working a full-time job and I still qualify for food stamps. That shouldn't be right. If I'm working a full-time job, I shouldn't need government assistance. So what the fuck is this shit? And so then you talk to your friend, or you see the Amazon delivery guy, and you say, hey, how much do you make? Oh, I make $15 an hour, over double what I'm making. Well, what do? Do you have to deal with asshole customers and crazy homeless people and drunks and all that shit? Oh, no, I just drive in a car, listen to music all day long, and drop packages off people's porches. And I get medical benefits. I worked in fast food for years. I never got medical benefits. So any logical person is going to sit there and say, well, why the fuck am I dealing with this? Why the fuck am I dealing with the grease and the food and the heat and the craziness when I can get paid double to not deal with any of that shit? Who the fuck wouldn't take that offer? So Amazon raised the bar. And because of that, people are like, yeah, fuck you, McDonald's. I don't want to go there. So now it's become this big problem and this big fight. And people are like, well, they're just going to raise the prices. I was like, yeah, or maybe the rich people could not buy a fucking another $100,000 car this year, or another fucking beach house, or another pair of golden shoes. Because when I was working in fast food, the guy who owned our place was a fucking millionaire. That guy had 3 houses, 3, not 1, not 2, fucking 3 houses, had 7 cars, and wore a $10,000 golden watch. But he can't afford to pay me more? Bullshit. It's greed. That's the fucking problem. It's the greed. I mean, I'm working next to people whose stomachs are grumbling because they have no food at home. They gave what food they had to their kids. So they're working starving in a place, making food for people, and we can't eat it. Like, if we get an order back or someone makes a mistake, we're not allowed to eat it because it would encourage theft. Fuck you. How about you give us a free meal per shift? That'd be nice. Some places actually started doing that, which I thought was really cool. But they didn't do it in early 2000, man. It was fucking, you were a fucking slave, you were a monkey, you were a fucking cog in a machine, and you were replaceable. If you ain't going to do the job, they're going to fire you, and they're going to get somebody else to do it. But now, things have changed. And so now some people are like, well, what about the poor mom and pop? They're not going to be able to do business. Well, I'm sorry. That sucks for them. But yeah, they're not going to be able to afford to do business because this is bullshit. Paying people less than the poverty and then thinking that it's okay. I mean, look, I'd love to have my own business. I'd love to have a nice big building with hundreds of employees, but I can't afford that, so I can't do it. I can't afford to do business. I've got to do this independent shit working out of my house and fucking doing everything I can to write shit off. You know what I'm saying? This microphone, I'm gonna write this motherfucker off. This goddamn interface, I'm writing this shit off. Get that home business going on. And so now we're seeing a bigger shift now. There's a big spotlight, and everyone's got a camera now, man. You can't do stuff. It used to be a time where you could say stuff on the internet and no one would get to you. But now people find out who you are, and you'll end up losing your job and your whole livelihood. Because words are powerful, and you need to understand that there's consequences for actions. Watch what you say, man. Watch what you put online. You'd be surprised. It could be used against you in a court of law one day. Be very freaking careful with this. Now, on to the racism thing, because we've seen some current incidents. There's a trailer that came out for the Little Mermaid live-action movie, and they cast an African-American or black girl, whichever term you prefer. They cast her, and of course all these fucking white people got pissed off. Over a fucking mermaid. I'm like, dude, oh man, you need a girl, mate. I mean, what of all the things to just throw your energy into, that kind of hate and criticism. But I'm like, look, man, so what? So what if the lead hero is black or gay or what the fuck ever? Okay? You don't have to watch it. You don't have to go online and rant and complain how it's too woke. No one fucking cares. Your opinion means shit. Because everyone's got an opinion, and they're like assholes. Everyone's got one, and everyone thinks everyone else's stinks. No one should hate you just because you're different. And if you listen to shit like Fox News or CNN, they're going to be told about this war that's going on, when in some cases it's not even actually happening or doesn't even exist. You got people who want a war, and then you have everybody else. And the majority of people, we want peace. We just want to be able to get paid decently at our job, come and live in a peaceful neighborhood, and our kids live peaceful lives, and just have a nice, peaceful, quiet life. That's literally what most people want. I would literally say that probably 90% to 95% of the population, that's what we want. But we got this 5% of assholes that want to do all this fucking crazy shit. You know, and when white people, as a white person, when white people go out and do all this crazy shit, it's like, dude, people are going to think that's me. You have to understand that everything you do has a reflection. Everything you do is a reflection of not just yourself, but your loved ones, your friends, family, and people of your culture. And so me, you know, because I'm a white guy, and I got guns, you know, but I'm not one of these crazy stupid fuckers that goes into a goddamn Chipotle with my fucking Crocs and stretch camo pants with a fucking machine gun. What do you think you're doing? You think you look like Rambo, dumbass? You look like an idiot. You look like an idiot. And you make the rest of us look like idiots too. Getting confused with these, people, crazy people that go in and shoot up a fucking store. It reminds me of that scene in Army of Darkness when Ash gets grouped up with King Henry's men. He's like, whoa, I never saw these assholes before. That's how it feels. It's like Muslims who get grouped in with terrorists, or Christians that get grouped in with the KKK. It's like, hey man, that's not us, man. That's these fuckers over here. We know they're there and we're trying to get rid of them, but it's real fucking hard, okay? Real hard. But whenever there's a big change in our culture, I mean, there's friction. Imagine a car going 150 miles or kilometers down the freeway, okay? And you got to make a turn, okay? Well, you're going 150 miles an hour. And you got no brakes. No brakes. So you can try and slow down a bit, but you're going to make that turn. And there's going to be a ton of friction between the tires and the road to make that turn. Now, when that happens, everyone sloshes around, and some people are screaming bloody murder, and other people are saying we're going to die. But you just got to chill out. You just got to take it easy because the car's going to settle, and we're going to be going down this new road. It's going to be okay. Now, I think that if you kind of shut out the media for a while, you tend to find your own peace of mind. And you realize that most of this news, it's just clickbait to get you riled up. So you'll hate your neighbor for no particular reason. But you're going to click that article so that way they can, buy their product or hear another word from our sponsor. You get all angry and suspicious of others for no reason. You turn into this us versus them mentality when the truth is we're all in this country together. We're a mongrel nation of many different people from many different cultures. Embrace it, dude. Come on, man. Who doesn't like Mexican food? Who doesn't like samosas? Who doesn't like Italian food or Chinese food? Come on. I'm not a big sushi fan, but dude, I'll eat some fucking fried noodles and fried rice. I'd eat fried rice right now because that shit is delicious. And Canadian bacon's great too. I mean, it's basically ham cut into circles, but fuck, who cares? It's good. Ugh. Now, I will say that there's this one comedian that I will quote. It's Bill Burr. Now, Bill Burr, what I do like about him is that he points out the hypocrisy on both sides. You know, and some people might say, "Oh, well, he's a conservative or whatever." I was like, "Oh, he probably is." But the thing is that he is pointing out the hypocrisy on shit. You know, he calls out people who are trying to be overly not racist. Bringing out some shit that like John Wayne said 60 years ago or some fucking crap. And it's like, look, man, it doesn't even matter anymore. Okay, you think that one tweet is really going to help the African American community in the United States? Seriously? Sit down and shut the fuck up, okay? When another culture is talking about being oppressed, then that is your time to sit down and shut the fuck up. When this whole Black Lives Matter thing, all these white people had these opinions. I'm like, look, man, this isn't our time to talk. This is our time to listen. Sit the fuck down and listen. What do they have to say? They got a seat at the table. Just hear what they have to say. We've all heard you fucking Karens and shit. No, let them have their turn. Let them have their say. Because once again, most of the shit here doesn't affect you. It will not affect you in any way. You give the words weight. So I'm trying to tell people, man, where do I stand? Abandon the hate. Please. Just abandon the hate. Abandon these media outlets that claim all this crazy bullshit. The only war you can control is the one inside your own mind. So I say end the war. Take it easy. Be happy with what you have and who you are. And that way you can connect with the people that are on the same path towards peace. Because honestly, like I said, that's what most of us want. We just want to live in peace. So let's take a moment and kind of reflect on that for a second. Probably going to light up another smoke. Let's just take 5 minutes of silence. 5 minutes, man. Sit down, ponder on this. And we'll start that 5 minutes right now. All right, man. All right. So anyway, man, hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing what you can do to abandon hate and the craziness and to make your life more calm and meaningful and peaceful. And I hope that what I say helps and maybe kind of makes you understand kind of who I am and where I'm at with it. We're witnessing history, man. So take a seat and see what happens, because I guarantee you, the can of green beans that you ate last night or tonight is going to taste the same as the one you ate the night before that and the night before that. I know mine do. So I can hope you take this message with you, and I hope it helps in any way. And remember to take it easy, man, because when you take it easy, the dude abides. Thanks for tuning in.